Okay, hello, hi VOD people. This is a stream, this is not a video. Go check out the Flawless Cowboy Silent Incursion reveal trailer that's on my channel. Subscribe, of course, and go play Flawless Cowboy. This is what it's about. I won the award for Best New Creator. So, I mean, clearly I'm good. Just go into Fortnite right now and search up Flawless Cowboy, and you'll be able to play all 3 missions that are currently up right now. Or if you don't want to type in all those words, you can also type in the word wrecked, because that is me. That's me. I'm that creator. Go to developers, and I'm right there. I'm the only one with a profile picture. You click on me, and then you can access Flawless Cowboy, check out all the community posts, that sort of thing. Yeah, so go on and do that. If you're watching this after the stream, don't watch the stream. I mean, you can, but I mean, like, it's probably gonna like a 1 or 2 hour stream. I don't know why you'd be watching this after the fact. Go play Flawless Cowboy. Yeah, okay, now I gotta open up the stream and get the chat. It's really weird, man. Like, it's like a delay when you're doing it. Sorry, you didn't hear me. It's really weird, man. Okay, that's not fine. Yeah, so like I have to wait a while before I can see the chat. So before it does that and I can see stuff in chat, I'm gonna go explain kind of what I'm doing today. So I wanted to go through and check out. Here, I'll put this in quality. I'm just gonna leave those alone. I wanted to check out because it's like the 1 year anniversary of Flawless Cowboy. Now, if you do go into the map here, it doesn't say it's the 1 year anniversary. Like, this is boarding action. Okay, it does say it. All right, Fortnite.gg doesn't say it. But I think Fortnite.gg says it was released in May. This was released on June 17th. This update specifically was on the 16th and then scheduled for the day after, but it released on June 17th. That's when I dropped the trailer and stuff. And so this is the 1 year anniversary. And yeah, it's also just really cool because you're gonna see my chat over there. It's really cool because, you know, exactly 1 year later, last night, I got sent a clip. You know, basically around the same time I would have scheduled that update, and it was from Geo, and it was saying that, like, or it was showing the UEFN Community Awards, and he was spamming me saying that I won Best New Creator, which again is absolutely insane. I would never have expected that. And just it's really cool. Yeah, so today, I'm still pulling it up. I got the chat now though. Tonight, I wanted to go back and play that first ever version of boarding action that released 1 year ago. So this is the version that I updated on June 16th and then was pushed out, scheduled on June 17th, which is the release day. Now, I didn't have a creator code. No, I did have a creator code for years. I didn't have like collaboration. I wasn't able to do that until the 6th, because that's when I turned 18, and so I needed to playtest the map. And so it says on May 29th, I published the map unlisted, right? So that I could play and playtest with friends and stuff, who also couldn't do the playtesting or collaboration. So let me get the exact version of it. This would be it, the 16th. So yeah, so this is the first ever version of Flawless Cowboy. You can note that it's single player right there, because initially there was a co-op version. Let me put this on 30. There's a co-op version, and then there was a single player version. Co-op came, I think, like a week after the initial release of boarding action. And then way later, I eventually got around to... Why isn't it letting me in? Way later on, I eventually got around to doing co-op built in. Please let me in. I think Fortnite servers are having some issues right now, because earlier I was trying to play Save the World and it wasn't working. Here, let me go over here and go back in. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna go to Save the World and then load back into Battle Royale front end, and hopefully that'll fix it. But yeah, I mean, like, while we're waiting, while we're trying to get in, because it does seem like the servers are dying. I don't think it's me, considering I'm streaming right now, and this stream wouldn't be working if it was me that was having issues. But yeah, it was crazy winning an award, right? You know, when I started this a year ago, I didn't think I'd get an award for all this. I didn't think I'd get an award for making Fortnite maps. Boarding Action was my first ever UEFN project, and even now, if you go back in there, I mean, it's much better than what it's much better than it used to be. And you'll see, if I can load into it, you'll see what it is, what it was like on launch. And if you played Boarding Action recently, you can kind of compare it, if it'll let me in. I'd rather do this, but there is like the other option of playing the co-op version, if this one doesn't want to load. Here, let me try the separate code. This one's just 2 days later, or I guess 1 day after the release. Probably like a singular change. Also, 3 people are playing Cover of Night, which is really, really cool. And this is what it says on my page. Is that true? It's not true. Not anymore. Well, earlier then. It says earlier people were playing Cover of Night and 1 person's playing Boarding Action. Is this one gonna work? Why wouldn't the first ever version not let me in, but then this one may? I don't know. Also, I'm playing with the Steam controller. I've been playing on controller a lot more recently because of the Steam controller, and you know, I want to justify my $100 purchase because I bought it like the second it came out, and then 30 minutes later it sold out, so I was really happy I did. And then you can just play Fortnite with it if you launch the Epic Games launcher through Steam, right? If Epic Games is closed and then you launch Epic Games launcher through Steam, it'll let you then launch Fortnite through that, and then you can play Fortnite with the Steam controller, and like everything works fine. All the haptics and stuff work. It's all as expected, which is really cool. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just cannot believe that I won Best New Creator, and like now I gotta get like an award shipped to me and stuff. Like, I don't know, if you told me a year ago, literally, if you told me exactly a year ago that happened because of Flawless Cowboy, you know, I wouldn't believe it. Now, sadly, Flawless Cowboy didn't win its nominated category, but, you know, can't get them all. Truthfully, I don't think Cover of Night was really deserving of Most Innovative Experience. I know I'm very hard on myself sometimes, but I really don't think it was deserving of that. I think there should have been like Best Single Player Experience or Best like Linear Narrative Experience, something like that. I think would have fit better. And I hope next year they have a thing like that. So this is like technically version 2, but it was the first update ever to Boarding Action. The first ever like version 0. That one just won't let me in. So we're playing the day after. This is the earliest version of the released Flawless Cowboy Boarding Action. I just want to make sure. Okay. So I can probably talk over this. I might turn up the volume just a little bit. So I want to make it like equal with my okay, seems fine. So yeah. Now I say this a lot on social media, but I will be going through every one of the levels and changing a lot of things and refining it, and you know, especially with the cutscenes. Cutscenes are my main priority, but also here it's like this whole environment here. This is what I knew back then. So I gave like, these are literally billboards, and they're like recommended settings, credits. There's a cool little prop that it's not even sized correctly, and voices, and then a single plane that's emissive and double-sided. It just says drop a like to support me. That's very useful though. I still have that, just in a different way now. And each level kind of ends like this anyway, where you're in a room, but boarding action began with it, which I think is always really interesting. And I'm gonna change it probably when I change things after level 4 releases. That was a very comprehensible sentence. So if you look outside, one, you can see like the 0 point stuff and kind of behind the scenes here. Right now, in the current version of boarding action, the hangar bay is around here. Alright, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what you're looking at, but this is the bridge right here. This is the bridge of the ship. This is the big loop bubble. This is the loop bubble that's like directly in front of the ship. This is the one seen in the cinematics, and then so around here is the hangar. You can't see it, but this is the hangar bay that you see the Johnson scene in. And then right here in the current version is this room. What I did is I moved it to the opposite side, because I don't know why I decided to put it over here, but I moved it to the opposite side, so it's not here anymore, it's over here, and eventually it probably won't exist to begin with. Yeah, so then you can see the particles from that loop bubble, and like all the strands and stuff, and you have like the little asteroids out here, and then the space is like this really low res texture, or a very like compressed texture that maybe wasn't too low res but wasn't imported right. That's just everywhere, and it does not look good. So we're gonna start the game, and I'll let the cutscenes play and I'll just talk over them. Again, this is the first ever version of boarding action. Oh, I think the cutscene was bugged. Okay, we're not gonna watch the cutscene. That's cool. That's great. Does seem like player movement devices set up. Oh, you know what? I think I accidentally put on the co-op version. I put on the co-op version of the game. I'm really sorry. That's what it was. I'm so sorry. That was... because there's two, like, things there. And it's like, that's not right. But I removed cinematics in the, cooperative version. So, of course I'd do that. I really hope this works now. There's a chance it just doesn't. Yeah, I think I made a mistake. My bad. Okay, so it's not canceling now, so kind of restart here. Also, if you're watching, please talk in chat, because I'm just kind of rambling on without chat talking at all. Play the music again. But essentially, like, yeah, essentially, boarding action was my first ever UEFN project, and you know, I learned a lot from doing that, and then, you know, I learned a lot from Landfall, and you'll see it in the upcoming Magpie Leon video. He's covering Flawless Cowboy. They do comment a few times, especially when Landfall begins. I don't know if that'll be in the video, but at least from what I've seen, they talk about like the budget and stuff, how it seems like each, you know, time it increases. And truthfully, no, the budget didn't increase. It was it was just my skills increased. My skills budget. But you know, over time they became better and better. So boarding action has this very stop motion animation you'll see, because I didn't know how to animate and I was too scared, and rightfully so, to animate entire cutscenes like that, especially these long cutscenes. Okay, so I'm about to start. And Landfall, you know, has fully animated cinematics and stuff. So this is, again, the first ever version of boarding action. And I think the ship here was bugged, so it'll teleport backwards. You see like the low res space background, the ship is broken, the loot bubble is pathetic. It's like, man.
Amy, all I need to know is, did we lose them?
Did we lose
both
them?
know the answer to
We
that.
made a blind jump. How did they? No, my voice isn't there. We made a blind jump. So, you know, when you would compare them,
Get here first.
it's not too
The last
different.
reality ships
It will
have
be
always
once I
been
can
faster.
go through and revamp everything,
As
but
for tracking us all the way from there, at that speed, my maneuvering options were limited.
We were running.
like obviously the space background, the
Until
loot
we
bubble,
accelerated.
some of the lighting
No
here.
one could have missed the Holy Tour
This version of it lacked quite a few props.
They were waiting for us on the far side of the
You saw like a
outpost.
lot of the detail
where do
in
we
the bridge.
Our
If
fighters
you look in the
mopping up
back there,
loss
like
of
near
their
that
recon
table,
now,
nothing.
nothing
There's nothing
serious.
over there except for
But
that table.
I've isolated approach signatures from
There's a little bit more
battle
now.
groups, make it 3 motherships per group. In about 90 seconds, they'll be all over us.
Well, that's it
Well,
then.
that's it then. Bring the ship back up to Combat Alert Alpha. I want everyone at their station.
No characters running here. That was a very
Everyone.
late edition.
And Amy,
Let's give her old
let's
friends
give our
a
old
warm
friends
welcome.
a warm welcome.
I've already begun.
I've already begun. See, I don't know. I think me moving the spawn fixed this section because those characters like didn't teleport in forever. You'll see the helicopter disappear. See, I don't know why it doesn't. Still don't know why. It's been like that this whole time. Whenever you get the cutscene, I might just take after the remake because it seems like the speech is going to be in the armory itself.
A drill. I repeat, this is not a drill.
This is not a drill. Guards.
Guards,
We let those
we
dumb
got
things
those dumb
out.
things out in the middle of nowhere to keep them from getting their
Filthy
filthy
laws of
laws on
Athena.
Athena. But we stumbled on to something they're so hot for that they're scrambling over each other to get it. Well, I don't care
you
if
look
it's the
really
Lord's
closely,
own weapon of annihilation
all the
or a
weapons
giant bouncy ball.
are,
We're
well,
not
the
gonna
weapons
let
are
'em have it.
teleporting with him, right?
What we will let them have is a double up
I don't
to
think
the
the
head.
keyframes are all
And
aligned, so
there are
sometimes it'll be
few
off.
cards scattered amongst the stars.
And then
Am I
all their
right?
weapons are floating.
Sir, yes, sir.
Because I wasn't looking where I copied them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right I am.
I didn't know how to attach objects. I never learned until Cover of Night.
External and internal contacts imminent.
I was working on Cover Night, and then I found out how to attach objects, and I felt so stupid.
This is gonna be your
In
lucky day.
cinematics, rather. Found out how to attach objects in cinematics. Whoa, sir?
Whoa, sir? Right.
Also,
Storm out.
I don't know what happened here in the cinematic. I'm
bring in
assuming
low-level
it's because of
systems
how
online.
far the characters were teleported.
Cracking the case in 30
But,
seconds.
they're not supposed to be in their positions. I had to change a lot of things because of that. Also, the floating magazines, I don't know why.
He's up! Blowing the pins!
Come on, you gotta get out of here.
Come on! You gotta get out of here!
Understood. So I don't know if, like, when I get around to doing the revamp, I don't know if I'm gonna have it play like the original game where you see, like, Sam up here, and then he gets killed and stuff, and then... Because I think I could do that now, for sure. So you have Sam up here, and he gets killed, and then Elite's like, he walks away. And then we can have Tom here, and, you know, you kind of walk up to him, he plays a new animation, it's like, come on, we gotta get out of here! And then you watch him die, but here, that was my first ever animation, right here, ever. And UEFN just like right there. Which was fun. I do this differently now, and I just might. Because again, it's all like... Well, that didn't have any effects on it either. I didn't know that. I thought that was on release, whatever. These have always been here. Like these fun little nods to Halo stuff. So, natural formation. You have a little superintendent reference there. Saying keep it clean. Now this part, and I wanna see like these guys have the effects too, because in the modern version, yeah, there's like a little particles that appear when the door closes. But like this guy removed, he's supposed to be like the. Is my audio fine, by the way? I need to check this. Hold on, I'm sorry. I just need to check to make sure the audio sounds fine. Fine, by the way. The new animation's like, come on, didn't have any effects on it either. Okay, sounds fine. I'm sorry you heard me like repeat. I'm just trying to make sure everything's good. Feel free to type in chat. If you want to like, I can go on my Discord if anyone's like in my Discord and you want to like talk. I can be in the VC or something. I don't know. But in this section, I removed this. I think like a month or two later, after this release, and it's the Chips double replacement. I don't know if I'm gonna do him in the revamp. I'd probably just not include him because kind of useless. But like I love Chips double, but I had him in LJ's character, and he's just has a little accent. He's just saying stuff. The music ends, and I don't have it looping. That's crazy. Oh yeah, and the music was the original music, not Halo music. Anyway, so we'll walk up to this guy.
Jones, the visitor needs you on the bridge ASAP. Better move quick.
Like, cool, man. Most people, and including me, you'll walk up here and run past this guy. He's just an IO guard. That's it. There's no point. Also, these guards are shooting at another guard. This has been in here this entire time. This guy, I think, is classified as a different team. And I don't know why, because I'm pretty sure they're no different. I think they're no different. I'm just saying, I don't know what's going on here. But I do want the guard that's just like standing here. I guess it is Chips. But like, they get aggro. This guy disappears afterwards though. He just killed his own guy. Nah, I definitely gotta fix that. Oh, and of course, like all this stuff's still here. So like most of the stuff was here in the beginning. There's in the final, in the current version, there's like an audio log that you can get here. Also, there's now a holotable. Talk, man. Can you guys stop shooting? There's a holotable here, in the current version that I just released with the latest update, to mimic Campaign Evolve, because I thought that was a cool little idea, and I always thought I just did not do this right. I mean, it's not, doesn't line up, just kind of looks weird. I found out more recently, I guess it's not showing up here. There was like clipping here where like there was some distance between this and the actual floor, and so you could like you'd see under the map. And want to kind of shimmy around here. Also back then, and of course, like, once again, revamp. I'm gonna have like full motion capture and stuff, so it'll always be different. But right now in the current version, he's animated. Here, he's just in a static pose. I say animated. He's like going through a few poses, like taking photos. Here's the loop. If you play Fortnite a lot, also walk back and forth here, you can kind of tell. It's just one you can already tell it's just a PNG, but here it's like it's very, very close. Like it's just right here. You can kind of tell the distance that we are between the PNG and there, and then this is closer, and I think it's out of scale. And then we have another one out here, and you can also see, I had to fix this later on. You can see the end of the map right there, the very end of the level. That's like part of the wing. But here, I mean, this is literally just the Collision loop bubble, and I won't stay on this for too long. But that's a loop bubble from Collision, just the PNG of it. It's different now. I only changed that recently, and of course you have like all the strands and a different space background. But back then, this is just what it looked like. That's what I knew. And this screen hasn't changed. I will change it once we do get Thank you. Once we revamp the mission, I'll change it because we'll have the new chief model, and so it won't really make sense. I'm glad I can talk about that too. Yeah, now that the trailer's been shown off about the new chief model, so we won't have like the same screen here. It'll be different. Same goes for the other ones that feature that. I also include a fade in there. Good to see you, Master Jones. Things are going well.
Good to see you, Master Jones. Things aren't going well. Amy did her best, but we never really had a chance.
A dozen Lost Reality motherships against a single IO augmented blimp. Given those odds, I'm content with 3. Make that 4 takedowns.
Also, I'll re-record
Sleep well?
Chief's lines.
No thanks to your driving, yes.
I can do a decent impression
So you did
when I
miss me.
wake up, but throughout the day I
Jones,
kind of
I'll be
lose
quite
my
honest
voice,
with
and
you.
you can
Situation is
definitely tell
dire.
this is like one of those
Lost
situations.
Reality's boarding our ship, and we have nowhere else to go except for the object we found.
Amy and I have
Amy
discussed
and I
it.
have discussed
Protocol's
it.
clear.
Protocol's clear. Destruction or capture of a shipboard AI is absolutely unacceptable.
I don't know
That
why
means you're
I said it
both
like
leaving
that.
the ship.
Acceptable.
Amy, lock in the selection landing zones, upload them to my release, and then sew yourself for a hard transfer.
Also,
Aye, sir.
if you look at the Jones model here,
Which is
and
where
it won't
you
matter
come in,
soon,
Jones.
but he kind of looks
Get
like he's
Amy off this ship. Keep her
his
away from the
armor is
enemy.
like melted.
If they capture her,
He
they'll learn
imported like
everything.
that, and I don't know why.
Deployment, reality wave
It's
research,
fixed in level 2
home.
and 3.
I understand.
The structural
Another
winter
issue
will continue
I cannot
basic
talk. Another
maneuvers
issue was
until you
introduced
initiate
with
a landing
fixing it,
sequence. Not that
which is
you
on
will
me,
listen,
but
I suggest
for some
letting
reason
the
it was
summer
like
teams handle the final
his
approach.
armor was all melted
Excellent
in
work,
low
Amy.
poly, and
Thank
it's
you.
just does not
Are you
look good.
ready?
No fault to premise, the modeler. That's just how it was. I don't
Yes,
know
sir.
why. Good luck, Master Jones.
I need a
Good
weapon.
luck, Master Jones.
I need a weapon.
I don't keep it
I
loaded,
don't
son.
keep it loaded, son. You'll have to find ammo as you go.
Oh yeah, and the pistol is different. Yeah, we used this pistol back then. Why? Oh. I was say, why is it so tiny? No, because I was on that. So yeah, we had the different pistol. Ignore the wrap. But we used the tactical pistol back then. Okay, I'll pick this up. Okay. We had the tactical pistol. And in this section, we played the Save the World music. Also, there's nothing back there. Now, if you go there, if you meet certain requirements, there's like the Bloody Meg Easter egg, which is great. Also, difficulty, way more difficult in this version. Combat assault rifle too. I think this was made before the collateral damage was released. Actually, I have no idea. It's so cool. Thank you. This is like the first ever version of the map, though. I don't know if you played the recent version, like the most modern version of this, but it's better. It's better now. I just wanted to celebrate the anniversary by looking at how it was a year ago. Also, and I don't know. I'm gonna turn down the game volume. Hold on. I don't know if this was like a later edition or if I just didn't know. But in the player movement device, you can change the speed that your player runs at when you're reloading, so you can make it so it doesn't decrease your speed. And I didn't know back then, and so my settings I think were just at the default, or they didn't do anything to help the player. Either made you like slower or didn't really do anything. I'm assuming that's because it also just doesn't feel like the rest of the missions, so I don't even know if there is like custom movement on here, because like afterwards I think in a later update they added the player movement device and I was able to make my characters slide around a bit more. So when you play Flawless Cowboy, if you like pay attention to how you kind of walk around and how you reload and stuff, it's very separated from Fortnite's typical movement. Very floaty, right? I think this is the second and oh, we do have the pistol in here. Yeah. Also, when I revamp the missions, we're not gonna have vending machines. I'm gonna take them out. Have like item places and stuff. Can I buy heavy ammo, please? No. Cool. Great. So we'll remove item placers and. Or no, we'll add item places. I cannot talk today. And we'll remove the vending machines because they are not needed. I think it's so crazy. Like, this is the version of the game that Genesis Studios or I guess Gigala specifically saw on Immature Gamer's stream. They didn't see the modern version, and I really hope they have. I'm pretty sure they have at least seen a little bit of the later missions, but my dream when I started out, and you know, I still hope it could happen eventually, but you know, I can accept that it probably won't. And honestly, now I can kind of make peace with it, considering like the ecosystem right now just doesn't work out for that. But my dream when I started out was joining Genesis Studios and being able to work on their events and stuff, because you know they're cool linear narrative experiences. Now I understand why they don't do it anymore. Also, there's no motherships outside. This was released exactly a year ago. And yeah. So this is like the very first version that released 1 year ago. On Fortnite.gg, it gives the wrong date. Same thing with in-game. Because I made it unlisted at first because I couldn't get people to playtest on a private code at the time. And so it was an unlisted version, meaning it technically released in like May, but it only went public and actually like officially released June 17th of last year. And that's when the trailer came out for it and stuff. I do have a gun down here. There we go. Yeah, I mean, like, I made so many different quality of life changes since, but a lot of the main, I don't know why this aim down sights looks so bad. It used to be good. Yeah. A lot of the main stuff is still here. It's just, it's no longer, it doesn't play like this. It plays better, and some things have been moved around, and things have been tweaked. How many maps since then? Well, right now I'm working on level 4. I had a small in-between where I worked on the map called Spartan Clash, which was kind of just remastering an old map of mine from years ago from Creative 1.0. But I don't really count that. So we had this map plus 2 others, and now currently working on the 4th one. Again, a lot of the foundation is still here. So I mean, it's not like, you know, a complete night and day difference when you play version 1 and then the current version, but when you look at like the fine details, like even this room, looking outside of space, there's so much more detail in the current version rather than this. I always did appreciate how I did add like the sides of the ship. It's a lot more immersive. And this was, I think this was my second ever animation, and then the other one was like my third. This is like the most complex I could ever do at the time. Yeah, I do it differently now. I don't know if I want to change this, I might, but I do like kind of want to just keep it the same.
Warning. Blast doors closing. We'll have to take a maintenance access panel at the end of the hall. I'll mark it on your HUD.
I'll mark it on your HUD. So this one has the effects, but the other ones don't. That's weird. Also in the modern version, at some point I add an Easter egg, and I might remove it in the future, but you can like walk through this thing and go outside of the bounds and just kind of look at the space background on its own. Also, this is removed in the current version because there's a flashlight mechanic now. But back then, I don't know if you could do a flashlight. I'm pretty sure you could. I just didn't know. So now you can like do it through reverse or something. So I downloaded like some code from like the Unreal forums, or I didn't download, I copied code from the Unreal forums and then followed the tutorial and setting it up. So now there's like a flashlight in each mission. And that's now where the flashlight is introduced. This section's a lot more darker too, to accommodate for the fact that you have the flashlight. Excuse me, can I pick this up? Thank you. I think I toyed with the idea back then, because you can kind of see there's a... Oh, and I just slide? Oh. Glad I removed that. But like, I kind of toyed with the idea by like removing lights and making this one darker, and I guess that's kind of it. Like, this area is dark, but I think it's accurate to the original game. Do I have a Discord? It's in the description. I think this part hasn't been changed ever. Or it might have. I think I changed one of the enemies here.
Looks like the last reality
I might have to change this too when I revamp everything. What was the gun back here? There's a pulse rifle. I didn't remember to change it to a Nordfang, or like an equivalent. Like a Mizik sniper. Doesn't make sense. Oh, and then here, I changed this, I think about a month after release. So now there's like a poster here because it was very empty. And then this, because I noticed someone made a review of the map on YouTube. Now it's been taken down since I think he deleted his channel. But in the footage, it showed him shooting at this guy. And this is just like some character like mannequin that's just standing at the end of the hall. Because when you walk forward here, there's a trigger that explodes it. And he thought it was an enemy, so he was shooting at it. And obviously it's not an enemy. It's just a static mannequin. So what I did was I changed it. There's enemies walking down there. I don't know what they're doing. I changed it to a character that's like waving, and it's like an IO guard, so you won't shoot at him. And then you see him explode, and he disappears. Which is funnier than that, and also he explodes way earlier. Because then it's just like there's this like random IO guards, and then kaboom, he's gone. No. Thank you. I'm just gonna skip past all this, because I'm pretty sure I can. Then I'll probably show what I'm working on. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Yeah, I can skip all of it. I'll change that in the future, too. And this cutscene, animation-wise, completely unchanged.
Punch it.
Visually, though, it's very different from this. The thing just disappears, too. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's, again, very different now. Very different. Would you rather take a seat?
Wouldn't you rather take a seat?
We'll be fine.
Sounds
If I
exactly
still
the same.
had fingers.
Hold on. Sorry, my dog was barking. Alright. So that was the earliest version of boarding action. The final version's way better. I'm not going to play through that, but I will show now kind of what I'm working on. So, if you've seen the trailer for Silent Incursion, or the reveal trailer, there's a lot more that I've worked on since. At that time, there wasn't any like gameplay done outside of that section, and so after I finished the Forerunner interior, now I'm kind of working on that so I can kind of showcase generally like what the gameplay looks like so far. And I have up to, but there's no dialogue yet, and some music cues are missing and stuff. Like, I'm working on the gameplay itself. But there is like a single cinematic that was kind of slightly shown off in a recent short. And then I don't know why there's two of these. I don't know why there's two. Anyway, so I'll show off what I'm doing with the latest level, but essentially that is, here, let me play some music. Okay. That's the earliest version of the mission. Very proud of it. Very, very proud of it. Let me check the Discord. Again, Discord's in the description below. If you want to join that, I post regular dev updates. Yeah. So, with that final cutscene, I think in the final version, not final version, when I do the revamp of it after level 4, I'm probably going to go through and add in this little verse device that I use a lot, where you can, like, make it so when you kill a certain amount of enemies, and I'm pretty sure I got it from, like, the first AI that's, like, built in to UEFN. But you kill a certain amount of enemies, in this like area, you can select which ones, they'll activate a cinematic sequence device, which is very useful, because there are many points in Halo where, you know, you're kind of required to reach a certain threshold, like kill these specific enemies, and then it'll trigger a cinematic and or a sequence. So Landfall, it's like heavily relied on that, where there's multiple sections where you're standing off and you're fighting waves of enemies, and to count as a wave that they use different cinematic sequences, and so then those sequences activate more enemies, and then those activate more sequences, and vice versa. So I'd probably do that, where at the very end of that mission, you kill all those enemies in that area. Probably decrease the amount of enemies too, because it's way too much. And then that will lead to a cinematic. It's like boom. And then cinematic, I'll probably redo the whole thing, honestly. What I've learned from, it's like so far, making Silent Incursion, it's very fun. One, remaking the campaign evolved cutscenes, and it's higher quality in the end. But also, here, I think it's this one. Yeah, I want to keep it faithful to the original. So I need to kind of look at each cinematic, kind of judge like what should I change, what should I keep. But I think camera angles specifically, and the way they do their cinematics at Campaign Evolved, I think it's probably the best part about Campaign Evolved. And what I'm looking most forward to. So I think copying that would be pretty cool. So I did that with the intro cutscene here, and then I'm doing it with the other cutscenes. There's gonna be one cutscene that's very, very different. I mean, basically nothing like the original game, but it's to kind of continue the story that I've been putting together, starting with Cover of Night, and that'll kind of tie in throughout the series. Yeah, okay. So we're just gonna wait for this to load, and I'll probably make a private code. I don't need to launch a session. I'll do a private code so I can just kind of launch it up immediately. And show what I've been working on. If you haven't already, make sure to follow me on my socials. Now, at this point, I would have like shilled the UEFN Community Awards and voting for me. But I won Best New Creator, so I don't really have to do that. So I'm instead just gonna say, you know, follow me on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, play Flawless Cowboy, play the maps. And especially like share it with your friends. You know, let everyone know about Flawless Cowboy. I think that's like the most, what's the word I'm looking for? It helps me out the most, like compared to anything else. Just telling your friends about Flawless Cowboy and getting them to play it, does a lot for me. Because an Epic Games sees those numbers and they're like, oh, these people are coming in externally and they're playing the map instead of like finding it in Discovery, the very rare times that it ever gets in Discovery, which is never gets in Discovery. I think Landfall and Landfall and Cover of Night, they never get into Discovery like anymore. And I'm pretty sure it's because those two missions were duplicates of boarding action. I thought it'd be way easier instead of like recreating the mechanics multiple times, like every single mission, and like recreating the player stats and stuff to match like the same stuff. Instead, I could have just copy and pasted the maps, But I think now, because of a recent change, hello, here, I'm gonna show off what I have so far of Silent Incursion. So this will be showcase for anniversary. It's the best I can do. It's you know, it's the least I can do for you guys. It's the 1 year. Yeah. Hate how slow UEFN is, man. It's fun. Lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. Anyway, so I don't think that Landfall and Cover of Night are ever getting Discover again, just because, they're duplicates of Pillar of Autumn. There's nothing I can do about it, right? They don't share anything in common with Pillar of Autumn, or Boarding Action rather, outside of like their very core metadata, which I can't change. Okay, should be ready. Alright, it's a long process getting your private code, man. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up. Sorry for the wait. We're gonna pull this up. There. Hopefully it doesn't bug out again like it was earlier. Alright. Should be good then. Did this earlier, so I'm gonna turn up the volume a little bit. Okay. So again, this is what I have right now for Silent Incursion. It's only like half the mission, right? So I don't think I'm really spoiling anything, and a lot of it is not implemented. Some music's missing, a lot of dialogue's missing. Well, almost everything dialogue-wise is missing outside of like what I needed to show for a short. In the beginning here, it's very temporary. So, same intro. A few things have changed, but not too much.
The Lost Reality believe that what they call the cartographer is somewhere under the Silent. The cartographer is a map room that will lead us to the Luke's control bridge.
Also improved the textures on Chief. Good, we'll turn it down a little bit.
Approaching the LZ. It's gonna be hot. Get set to cross
I also enabled bloom, so there's some bloom here. But again, not too different.
touchdown. Hey, soldiers.
Here, let me change the hot scale. Oh. So we have threshold here, and I'll change it because I don't know why it's kind of jagged. Also, I was testing this. Custom weapons don't work in first person, and they don't work on old maps yet. We certainly did. So again, another thing you can notice, bloom. So like right here, installation 00 also talked about in his recent video, and I kind of took note of it and put it in here. The ship that gets destroyed in the cutscene doesn't have any debris. Thought it'd be cool if we had this in here. So after it gets destroyed in the cutscene, this stuff appears, and this tree is like kind of taken off. Missing dialogue still, but we have foe hammer, or bro hammer in this case. Yeah, I might tweet the truck dropping down, but there we go. Bye bye. And yeah. Sometimes these guys just don't follow me. I don't know if this is because he should be another like hired guard, but doesn't really react that way. I don't know what's going on there. I need to look into that. But again, we have half the mission gameplay wise finished here. My priority starting was definitely the environments. So, I mean, the environments look really, really good. The environments are done. Get in the car, bro. Hurry. Let's go. Okay, bro, get back in the car. Come on. Well, usually I skip those enemies, but I just kind of want to show off the gameplay here. Hopefully I can fix those guards so they can be a bit more useful, because I also need some of these guys to be patrolling. Not every single one of them, but the elite at least. Maybe a grunt. I don't think I reloaded my gun. Oh, I did. Okay. Hello. I think it's the first time I'm showing off this interior in video. Also, the flashlight, the values are more accustomed to lumen being on. So like it's not the brightest, but it works with lumen. I noticed with lumen who are you shooting at, bro? Or who's shooting at you? No one. I noticed with lumen off, it's not as dark, especially in the darker areas, so I kind of ignored the non-lumen and tweaked the value. This is a lot of lens flare, but I kind of decreased it. Could have been way worse. Also love the bloom. Here it's like, don't let them lock the doors. And it's like, oh, I gotta not let them lock the doors. Oh, they locked the doors. I can't believe it. Whoa. Can you help? Thanks. No? Okay, yeah. Sure, man. So now we gotta unlock the door. Oh no. But, you can kind of look at the cavern from here. Very dark. Nothing like Anniversary. And all this lighting here, I've really tried to nail down the darkness. And then put the exact same lights where they were supposed to go. I think I definitely need to increase the volume and of the ambience. I can barely hear it. I think Bloom is definitely really cool, and I should probably add it to the other missions too. But there is such a thing as too much Bloom. Oh, thank you. Like Halo 3 Combat Evolved, the mod, I remember having so much Bloom in every single one of its missions, and it did not look good. I think it was kind of a result of it being on the ODST engine, rather than like the actual Halo 3 one. Hello. Yeah, headshots on these guys, they'll die immediately. I definitely need to decrease the amount of bullets you get, because I have quite a bit. You get like auto regen bullets because some melee in Fortnite, and until there's a way to do melee in Fortnite that I can do, that I can implement, you have to have some way of killing enemies when you run out of ammo. And so the only solution right now is to just, you know, just give you more ammo. That's all I can really do. There's no pocket grenades yet, and so even when I like do more of these, if I have like more of the ammo, it's kind of sitting around in the environment. Yeah, just can't really do much. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this one. I don't know what he was doing. But essentially the hunters, as it is Fortnite, they're kind of broken up into 2 different enemies. So you kind of have like this main melee one. And I'll probably have to increase the speed. You have the main melee one, and then you have the one that's more like ranged weapon attacking you. And I might, you know, look through some of the other things I can do with them, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. Maybe I'll find a good rocket launcher instead of a minigun, I don't know. I thought it was like a good balance, and maybe if you play a certain way, or maybe if I just kind of do them right, you know, they gotta be fun. Probably it's more interesting fighting against 2 hunters that have different guns that try to replicate both aspects of a hunter. For a while, it's a lot of rambling I just did now, just to say that like one hunter has a big melee weapon. Can I break these? How do you do that? One weapons have a melee weapon, the other has a minigun. That's it. I don't know if I can break these, but I think they're just bugged because they don't break, but they show the visual effects of being broken because there's no environment damage. Right. Ignore the rift here, that's just for debugging purposes. I was testing this area earlier. So another area down here, there's a lumen exposure manager that you walk into that decreases. Right here is just the sky device thing, but in the other cavern. See, this is what I'm talking about, because now you gotta kind of avoid this guy. I definitely don't want to die, though. Don't kill me, please. Oh, I died. That's why I had that rift there. Because I don't have spawn pads yet. Haven't implemented them. But I think like, especially in a closed environment like this, you have this guy. So you gotta kind of focus on him, but then he's kind of hitting you with the hammer and launching you. So then you're so focused, and then you have this other enemy who has a minigun. So you gotta try to run away from this guy, but also not get shot by this minigun. So I think if done right, and if I change the speeds of the hammer guy, I can probably make it kind of fun. I think the hammer guy's a little faster, a little more dangerous. It might make it better. It's kind of annoying because you can cheat them really easily by standing on top of something tall. Not this guy, but the minigun guy. Not minigun, the melee guy. So again, it's kind of partly why we have this guy in here to begin with. Because if you have like a minigun enemy that's more of a ranged weapon that can attack you if you're trying to cheese the melee one. Yeah, thought that was pretty cool. Is there anyone still watching? Can you type in chat? Because I think I'm trying to show this little cinematic. It's very short. If you play the game, you know what this is, but here we have this little room, and I'll show it off before I activate the cinematic. But here you can kind of see the facility. It's a rotating hologram. Look down here. Kind of see into the cavern below. Same thing with these. It's just I lined these up. These are models I extruded that I lined up pretty well to the original geometry. Same thing with this floor. But oh, I fell. I'm sorry. Now I have to walk all the way back. I'm stupid. Don't worry. It's not like that far back, but gotta go back into the environment. Anyway, essentially the environment, I kind of hand do it. Looks so polished. Thank you. I do it by hand and like extrude the models based on the original level geometry. So these are extruded based on the original level geometry, and I'll show off the rest of the other Forerunner facility. I do not want to slide off of this, but here I can emote. Right, you can kind of see down there. Same stuff down there. I forget how slidey it is because I make it as light as possible. Okay, so here's the cinematic for the door opening. It's very short and sweet. That's it. Very short, very sweet. That tells you like, okay, door's unlocked, and now we gotta get back. Bro, why are you so aggressive? I'm really sorry to those that played Cover of Night and hated those enemies. I'm really sorry, they're back. You can get their guns this time, but what are you guys shooting at? That guy died. The stuff, bro. The stuff. So these enemies, of course, spawn after you do the whole section. They kind of just stand around. You know, like the original game, they just kind of stand here, and then those guys patrol, but they're gonna start shooting at that guy. Hope not. We also have this sound effect. I know people really like that. I'm gonna avoid these guys. Hope they don't see me because I don't want to have them chase me. Again, I'm gonna see what I can do about this planet back here. It's very jagged. Right? It's very weird. Not a fan of that. Didn't have that issue in any other map. I'm gonna grab this car. I'm gonna go back to the cartographer so I can kind of just show off the environment. Past this point, there's no enemies that spawn in. Like, that is the point that I've gotten to. I just worked on that cinematic yesterday. Like, I created that yesterday. Pretty proud of it. You know, it's based on the remake. Very simple. I said simple. It's over, man. Can't talk anymore. Very simple, but you know, has some like cool depth of field. Cool little reveals to guy. Yeah, does the job. So here now we're gonna explore the Forerunner facility. Here, a lumen exposure manager is kind of like at this point, I think. And you walk into it, so now everything's much darker. And you kind of see it, same thing with the daylight sequencer. There's two things working in tandem to kind of create a darker environment. And I think you can kind of see it when you look at the volumetric fog here that interacts with this light. And also the kind of the tint. So if when I walk forward, it kind of changes. If you can see that. Changes just slightly. Yeah. It's mostly shadows though. So that's a light, but the shadows here are much darker than they would without the lumen exposure. So here, I have not shown any of this yet outside of like screenshots on my Discord, which is in the description if you want more updates. So I'll just kind of show what the cavern looks like down there. We will explore all of this. It's a long drop. Very dark. Very cool. And of course we will have the cutscene that activates here. It will be forced on, so when you walk here you'll get the cinematic. Just so I can kind of set player spawns. Again, no enemies past that point. So I'm just gonna kind of tour around the environment and what you will be playing in. Yeah, I wanted to definitely replicate the original style, especially the lighting. Very small light changes every once in a while, but most of the lighting is very identical to the original in terms of placement and color. And of course intensity. And then here I do include aspects of the Oathbound stuff, which we played Landfall. And I definitely will change it in Landfall to kind of be more like this. All the stuff there is kind of like using the Citadel assets and stuff, along with these lights, and so I wanted to kind of mesh them with the actual Forerunner aesthetic of concrete and metal and like sort of look and holograms and stuff. That's kind of what we're going for. And again, these are all extruded shapes that were, you know, hand done by me. So then those doors are just really cool. I'm glad we can use them. This area. Again, I might make the shadows even darker, to be honest, because I don't think it's dark enough to my liking. But yeah, this environment. Again. Get this purple burst. We look down here. Again, a lot like the original lighting here, just instead of the light being up here, it's down here, and some minor architecture differences, but for the most part, very, very close to the original. And especially in this room, the lighting is directly one-to-one, including this little section here. Very much one-to-one. I think I posted a comparison screenshot in the Discord. Yeah, shadows aren't dark enough. Go down here. More of the environment. This room. I might decrease the lens flares a bit because these lights are kind of everywhere, and I think the bloom does more than enough to kind of fulfill that purpose. I think lens flares are going to decrease because I'd be fine if it's just like a little bit on the screen, but they all kind of like blend together. You know, like when you look at this, especially when you're in the dark, but I'll kind of put it here. Kind of see in the middle of the screen, there's like multiple like crosses of lens flare, which is not what I wanted. It's not my intention. Yeah. Again, shadows need to be a little darker. I'll work on that because I do want the flashlight to kind of be needed if you want to look at a dark corner. But again, you can just barely see what's down there. The fog consumes it, the purple, dark fog. It's just like, man. Can you tell I spent a long time replicating the original game here? Fire team member. Long time. Here, I'll go onto this floor actually. A lot of tweaking. Also tweaked the player movement a lot. Felt like it was too fast. I still kind of feel like it's too fast, but I think it's just kind of a sweet spot. Again, shadows here need to be almost pitch black. Yeah. Some more like this cool little stuff. I was exploring. I'll show off this room. I'm very proud of this room too. I like the little shape here. Kind of walk through it. Then we have the ramps. Of course, this goes out here, and then we get more of the cavern. So you're at the bottom floor. We walk down here. You can see where you started up there. It's very neat. I think players are definitely gonna like this. I'm kind of just showing this all off because, you know, I don't even know if there's anyone still watching the stream, and if you are, I mean, like, here you go. It's like False Cowboy leaked, but really, it's cool. I want to show off what I've been working on, and obviously this isn't the finished product, and some things may change. I think the environment's pretty nailed down, though. I think, you know, when you play the game, you have enemy encounters and stuff, voice lines, more cinematics, music, gameplay. Then you have here. Then of course you have too much lens flare. That's what you have, way too much lens flare. An insane amount of lens flare that I will disable and or decrease to barely exist, because what is going on here? What is going on my screen? I don't think players are gonna like that. I think players are gonna hate that. This isn't interactable. Nothing happens here yet. Again, gameplay isn't done. This will be probably the most important cinematic of the entire mission as well. I won't spoil it because that is intentionally like a spoiler, but we're proud of like the design here and how I managed to copy. I mean, this room kind of, this hallway, and the one that's like kind of directly across, over there, kind of reminds me of Halo 3. The mission, The Ark. General Halo 3, like Forerunner architecture, kind of looks like that. Yeah, very proud of this. And then again, this is the hologram of the loop bubble. So it's kind of spinning around, and you know, it's like, ooh, you press this and it'll show you the location of the control room, control bridge on the loop. And a lot more is going to happen in the cinematic. It's going to be a big cinematic, probably a really long one. And we'll have a lot of implications that are not in the original game, because I am building a little bit more on the story for Fortnite. Again, if you played Cover of Night, you know, you've already seen some of the story differences outside of like the basic, like, oh, this character is now a Fortnite character, like Captain Keys is a visitor. You know, very final cutscene introduces a new character. Zuka's Amami, basically, kind of mixed in with the Arbiter. If you read The Flood, the book, you would know. who Tsukizami is, or if you've like watched a Halo lore video, I guess. You know, I'm just kind of backtracking to show you what I did not mean to shoot. To kind of show you how it looks, leaving it. Too much lens flare. That's what I'm getting out of this. I'm glad I played this through so I can look at the abysmal lens flare. It's my first time actually playing, like walking through it in first person, in gameplay. Because the door lock has been locked this whole time. I didn't finish the door mechanic until this morning. So this wasn't playable until today. Yeah, I'm very, very proud of this cavern. Too much lens flare. Main complaint. Too much lens flare, not enough darkness. And, yeah, I'm criticizing my own map, but very happy with how this all turned out. And, here, you would walk back and then walk this way. I think I'm going to do what the remake did, right? Because if you play... Maybe I'll do it right here. I don't know. If you play Combat Evolved, the Sword Elite spawns directly right here, which doesn't really make sense. Like if you play, I don't know what is going on with that Sword Elite. If you play Combat Evolved, right? At this point, you walk through. There's a Sword Elite. It's the one that you saw in the cutscene previously, and he's like the golden one. He shows up and he tries to kill you, and then you go like you always sprint back down this hall, and you're like terrified and stuff, and he's a one-shot kill. I don't know why he's here when you see him walk out in the cutscene. So it makes sense how now in the remake he's you have to walk out a bit further, and then he surprise attacks you, and then he's actually here, and he walks out from the gameplay I've seen, which is really cool. I might do it like Combat Evolved just because of how like narrow that corridor is. I'm not entirely sure. But this is you leaving, and then you walk out. Fight some more enemies over here, and then Full Hammer takes you for extraction. And unlike Campaign Evolved, I do like Campaign Evolved, and I'm excited for it to come out, right? But I'm not going to not criticize its faults. I pre-ordered the collector's edition. Like I'm a Halo fan, okay? Not one of those Halo fans. But Campaign Evolved, what they don't do right is the foreign architecture, especially on this mission. I understand in terms of like keeping in line with the rest of the series, and I like Halo 4. Controversial opinion, I know. I like Halo 4, and I don't mind what they did with the architecture, but here I saw the vehicles over here. I'm just gonna take this. I like Halo 4. I like how it looks. I don't like Halo 5 as much, but Halo Infinite I think definitely refines it, gets it in a good spot, good mix. It's just in this mission specifically, it's designed in a certain way for a certain reason. So if we go back up this area, and a lot of people on social media pointed this out. Why is my... Hold on. Also, I don't think you can bring this up here. I tried to block it. Oh, you probably could. Hold on. You probably can. I'm not gonna keep trying. You probably can bring it up here, but I designed it in a way so that it kind of looks like you can get it through. But if I like get the other truck, it's not great. They removed that tree in the remake. It's like, oh, we can let you get the car through. You can fight the hunters in the vehicle, but I don't want to do that. Right. You can get through. Okay. You can. Maybe I'll add another rock. Just right here for no reason. Kind of block the player. You can't get through that way very well, but you can get through pretty easily on this side. Whatever. At least there is a tree blocking that. Might change up the environment. But, what I was trying to talk about was up here. Obviously in the remake, foreign architecture, not accurate. And in my remake, obviously it is. I'm gonna grab that overshield. So like, foreign architecture, not accurate. And so in this situation, this thing is supposed to be a hinge, right? And I kind of designed it with the Fortnite assets to be as such. Kind of be very obvious that it does the same mechanic here. Just more like a latch as a hinge right there. It's a latch that opens up as a hatch 3 different words that you can describe this thing: latch, hatch, and hinge. By the way, this opens up, right? This middle section opens, gets raised, and then you have like the little underground section. So what I think I'm going to do, also the underground section makes no sense because it's in the security override. That's what's directly underneath this, is the security override, and it does not make sense, but ignoring that part. That's probably why they skipped that section of the cutscene in the remake. From the gameplay I've seen, it immediately cuts to like the underground section because it being over here doesn't make sense, and it being a hinge or hatch or latch doesn't make sense in that context either, so I understand. But essentially what I'll probably do, and again, this cutscene isn't, I have not started on it, and I won't start it for a while, but I'll probably have the camera like up here, and you'll see like the hatch open up, and you won't see like the other side because there's nothing on this other side, just dirt. It's dirt underneath. But you'll have the hatch open up, right? The camera will be up there, facing this direction. And so you'll see it open, and then you'll see the pelican lower, and then it'll cut to the underground, and then you'll see like the top of the hatch being open, and then the pelican lowering, and then slowly but surely this one like closes. It doesn't slide, it closes. And that'll be the cinematic. Alright, you gotta go? Alright. Have a good one, have a good one. I'm probably gonna end stream soon anyway, but yeah, take care, take care. But essentially that's the idea. Yeah, I know I don't really do long streams. And that's on me. I mean, I don't have a schedule. I'm not a streamer, right? Sometimes I want to ramble about something or show something, and so today I'm just kind of celebrating the anniversary of Flawless Cowboy. So I'll probably run it about here. So I don't really have anything else I want to show, and I do have stuff I need to do, especially I need to keep working on this project, and or just play a game. I don't know, man, but probably should keep working on this or doing something or working on my team project. I have a job and I probably should do that instead of working on a personal project. By the way, moral of the story, Flawless Cowboy wins, and I don't know what else to say here. Thank you for supporting the series. Thank you for giving me the Best New Creator award. Very cool. And I need that shipped to me like immediately. That's kind of it. Again, that's everything I have so far of the mission. And if you kind of just want to go back over it, I did a very thorough walkthrough just now. So you want to see like what progress is at, just kind of go back through the stream, skim through it, check it out. It's basically the finished product. In terms of environment, I will definitely lower the lens flare. That's probably what I'm about to do today. Lower the lens flare, make the shadows darker. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in. I know, again, short stream. Most of it's just me rambling about my levels. But I really do appreciate it. Yeah, you all take care. Make sure to play Flawless Cowboy. Make sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter. Check out the reveal trailer for Silent Incursion, or just skim through the video or VOD. I don't know. Oh, 10 XP, 10,000. Hooray. Got XP. Alright. Anyway, thank you so much. You all have a good one, and yeah, I'll see you later at some point. Who knows when? Goodbye.